Finally a nice day out here in the Pacific Northwest, so I figured I'd start shooting another video here on just some work on the car, on the WRX. So welcome back to the channel. If you've been watching some of my videos or seen some of them, or welcome to the channel if you've never been here. So right now, just gotta run some errands really quick, run down to Lowe's, grab some stuff there, and grocery shopping really quick. The car is filthy right now, so need to wash it definitely today since it's a nice sunny day. So I'll probably run down to the car wash really quick and just get it pressure washed off, since I don't have a pressure washer yet here at home. Eventually I will, just don't have one yet. Also got to get a foam cannon too, so there's a lot of detailing stuff I want to get for the car now that we're in a house, which eventually it'll come. There's some paintless dent removal stuff that I like to get eventually as well, so someday we'll get into all that. But for today, we gotta wash it, and then do some cosmetic stuff to it really. Do have some new mud flaps I'd like to try to get on. That'd be awesome. I've got the Rally Armor mud flaps on right now in red, but I'm kind of getting tired of the red, so I'd like to go to black, just to give it, I don't know, everything kind of going dark, I guess, in a way. So I got those. I also have some headlight overlays as well that I like to put on to get rid of that orange reflector. I've had those for probably over a year just sitting around. So those, I'd really like to get those on too. So we'll try to do that, at least those just temporarily until I get sea lights installed in the headlights, or do it myself or whatever, which I'll probably do it myself. So let's do that. I gotta go run some errands and go to the car wash, and then once we get back to the car wash, we'll get back home, probably dry off the car here at home, maybe do a quick clay bar, and just kind of clean it up a bit. And now that I'm thinking about it, probably need to do the interior too, since the interior hasn't been cleaned in like 4 months. It's pretty gross in here. So vacuum it out, clean it up in here a bit as well, and go from there. So stay tuned and start working on this thing. All right, well, we're finally back from out and about running errands and whatnot. Got the car wash, took it to the car wash, and just did a quick one real quick, and that way I could get it home and clay bar it a bit, clean door jams and just like wheels and other stuff without using the equipment at the car wash. So even though the car is not in the best condition right now, but still I don't want to make it too much worse. So she is clean though. She's a bit cleaned up, a lot cleaner than she was, that's for sure. So this shit was filthy this morning. So it's looking a lot better now. It's actually kind of clean, actually looks kind of good. So we got a lot of stuff, different stuff that we're gonna work on today. Main thing is we're gonna get the car kind of cleaned up a little bit more inside and outside. I'll probably start on the interior and just kind of give it a really good vacuum, and then wipe down. I don't really have anything specific for like detailing equipment or anything like that yet, but as I get stuff, I will make sure that I let you guys know what I'm getting and kind of show you how it works as well. That way, if you want to try it out yourself, you can, and you kind of have an idea of how it might work. So I'll be your test dummy. So we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna do the headlight overlays today too, to get the orange covered up on the headlights, but I'm not 100% positive. I really want to do the mud flaps today. Like I was saying earlier, I have some black rock blocks mud flaps, so I'd really like to get those going as well. I might start with that first and go from there, but we'll see. And other than that, I just want to do a little bit of maintenance on it. The car's only got 1,000 miles roughly on it since I got it back from Josh Bader after all the work that he did to it. But I've got like another clean Cobb air filter for the intake, so I might throw that guy on there so I can get that one cleaned for the next time when I do an oil change. I can change it. And then I do want to clean my MAF sensor and the map sensor as well. I believe it's the map sensor. It's the one that's on top of the intake manifold. Could be wrong. It could just be a secondary MAF. I'm not 100% sure. But that's kind of the stuff that I want to work on today on the car. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get down into this. Well, it sure is nice being able to just roll that jack around freely now. That's for sure. Not having to deal with like the asphalt and it being super loud when I'm rolling it around at my apartment complex that we were living in. So that was really nice. This is the first time I've gotten the car jacked up in my own driveway. So that was awesome. So what we're gonna do first, what I decided to do first was go ahead and do this the mud flaps. I really want to get rid of these Rally Armor mud flaps right now. I mean, you can look at them. They're pretty torn up. So, I mean, from the backside, they don't look too bad. But I'm ready to go black on these mud flaps for sure. So, I mean, that's what they're there for too. They're going to wear out eventually. They're there to try to help protect the paint and whatnot on the car. And, I mean, they do an okay job, not the best job, but they do what they're supposed to do for the most part. So it is what it is. But basically step one is to go ahead and get the car jacked up, put it on jack stands. I went ahead and jacked it up just because I feel like it's easier to do these. You can either from there turn the front wheels to do this if you want, or you can just take the wheel off. And I'm going to end up just going ahead and taking the wheel completely off, because might as well. And that way, once they're off, I think I'm gonna just scrub them down a bit more than I did when I was at the car wash, so clean them up a bit too. So I'm going to show you guys how to do in a little bit more detail the one front side and one back side, you know, because obviously the front's going to be the same on the other side, and then the rear is going to be the same on the other side. So I'll show you how to do that, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so nothing too crazy here. We obviously, as you saw, we got the car already all jacked up and that wheel off on the passenger side. So we got our flaps here, our Rockbox mud flaps. These are actually the same ones that I have on the Forester. Of course, obviously for the 15 plus WRX though. So we're gonna have matching red mud flaps on both cars. So here are the two fronts. And then we got all of our front hardware out right here for both sides. So once you have that all staged and set up, ready to go, we are going to be using one of these black spacers on each side with this, I believe it's the larger screw on the black metal washer. So we'll go ahead and set those there. And then we need to take one of these L brackets here and one of these metal clips. So with that, what we're going to go ahead and do is this clip slides onto this bracket here. This flat side goes on the outside, and you just want to slide that down there and get that lined up as much as best you can. Basically something like that, and then we can do the same thing to this other one as well. So really, in all reality, our next step here at this point is to go ahead and get this the Rally Armor mud flap off. So I got a Phillips head screwdriver here, and we're going to go ahead and get this guy off. So we got that old Rally Armor mud flap off. Since I already have that Rally Armor mud flap on here, there's some clips I don't have to take off because I already took them off. But essentially what you're going to want to do next, you know, if this is like a fresh install or something like that, is you're going to want to pop out about 5 clips, plastic clips holding your inner fender liner in. So first one's going to be here. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's one underneath right here as well. And I've already got those popped out except for this one right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy right here popped out real quick with just a flathead screwdriver. So once you have all those clips popped out, you're gonna take these 4 basically plastic screw retaining clips or flap retaining clips. And with these, what you're gonna do after you carefully pull your fender liner out a little bit here is you're gonna go ahead and pop these in where you took out those some of those pieces. So you got 1 right here, 2, 3, and then another one's gonna go down here on that bottom hole. So when you do these, that nipple part is gonna go towards the back side, so that way the screw goes in where it's flat right here. So let's go ahead and pop these in real quick. Alright, so as you can see right there, we got those plastic clips in. So you got 1, 2, 3, and then that 4th one is right down here where you popped out that bottom clip. So it just kind of sits down there on that angle. So we got that. Now let's go ahead and get to the next one. So after you get all those clips out and everything, you're gonna go ahead and take this, the metal L bracket with that other screw retaining clip, and you're basically gonna slide this to try to get this hole to line up with that other clip that you put in down here on the inside. And then you are going to take a your shorter screw with that smaller metal washer and get that guy up in there. Now these holes won't perfectly align, unfortunately, but you can kind of, once you get in here and you see kind of what you're doing underneath the car, everything will meet up and mate where it needs to be. Switch screwdriver sides here. If you don't have the car up on jack stands, you're probably going to need one of those short stubby screwdrivers. So that's why it kind of does help to get the car up on jack stands and just take your wheel off or turn it or whatever. Like I said, I turn mine just because it's easier. I personally think to do. But all right, so we got that in there. I'm not gonna snug it up quite yet. It's just in there loosely, so we can move it around if need be, and that way, if I need to readjust it or wherever I need to move it, I can. So, but that is in there. So let's go to the next step. All right, so now all we need to do is pretty much go ahead and get that mud flap on. So basically this guy's gonna line up just like that right there. Pretty simple. Where you put your clips, all of your clips. So this one right here is actually where our long screw with big black washer and the spacer is going to go, because it's kind of recessed right here in this area. So I am going to put the spacer back here on this back side, I believe is how it's supposed to go. Makes sense. And we're gonna go ahead and get this one started. That, and then we should have the 3 small ones left, so we can go ahead and put these small ones basically in our other holes. Boom, boom, and then this last one over here. And then we can go ahead and get these all tightened down, and then we can adjust the flap to how we want it to sit. And then in this hole right here, where we took out that plastic clip, once we get this all in, this simply just actually pops right back in there, just like that, to hold in that fender liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all zipped up here really quick, and then we'll take a look and see what it looks like. got a guy cutting a tree over here behind me across the street, and so it's not very much help in the video, but oh well, it is what it is. Everybody's got to work, right? So as you can see, there we go. And I might readjust that a little bit. I pulled mine out all the way, but in all honesty, now that I'm looking at it, I think I might just straighten it up. But I'm going to go ahead and get this other side flap on, get this wheel off, and get this flap on. And after I get this one on, we'll get to the back, and I'll show you how to do one of the back sides, and we'll go from there. Alright, well, the fronts are done, so that's all completed. So now we gotta move over to the backs. But let's take a look and see what this looks like here with the black on versus the red. So, yeah, I don't know. I do like the black. I think it's a little more subtle. Obviously these wheels are there, but I do like the black. The black definitely looks a little more subtle to me. So we'll see. So let's go ahead and get to the back side, and we'll get the car jacked up on the back and go ahead and start on the passenger side, show you how to do this one, and then we'll just go ahead and time lapse the other one. Also, before I forget, very important, so don't forget that you do it, but on the front, make sure you guys tighten that nut on the bottom that's holding in that L bracket right there. So before I get any further over here on the back, I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna tighten those screws up, and then we'll go ahead and get back over to the back. All right, so now we're back over here to the rears. Specifically, we are on the rear passenger side. And we obviously got to get this Rally Armor mud flap off. So. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start our rock blocks with this little white piece here. This is gonna go underneath here, and that hole is going to be right here, that hole right there. So we're gonna pop this guy in. Right here. Oh, and I'm gonna use 2 hands. So let me get this guy back up. So it's a little snug, but you can get it in there. Just use some elbow grease. All right, now that we have that in there, we're gonna go ahead and pop out these 2 clips right here. Those popped out there, and then where those clips were, we're gonna go ahead and take these black big pin things and pop those in here. It does take a little bit of force, so you might want to use your fist or a rubber mallet or something. Boom, boom. All right, so those are in there, and next we are going to take our L bracket with one of the metal clips that's on it here already put on. The nipple or the raised part needs to go facing that way, and we're going to take one of our shorter screws and put that up right into where we put that white bushing underneath there. Next, we're going to go ahead and take this plastic clip here, and this guy with this raised edge facing the rear of the car is going to go ahead and pop right there, just like that. Then we can go ahead and start getting our mud flap put on here. So what we are going to do, let's get this lined up here a bit. Let's see how this guy's going to sit. Okay, get an idea. Perfect, easy. So what I'm going to do first is go ahead and take my long screw with a black washer. I'm going to place it that upper middle hole, and then the spacer on the other side. And that screw is going to go into that middle nylon plug that you put in there. So, find a screwdriver here so I can get that started. Alright, and that one started in there. So next, we're going to take a shorter screw, which you should have 3 shorter screws and 3 black washers left for this one side. And we're going to go ahead and take this and put this one into this nylon plug that we installed over here. And leave it kind of loose so we can still adjust it as needed. And we've only got 2 more. So one where you put that plastic piece, and then a screw and a washer going into this L bracket. And that's it. That's it for the rear. Obviously, we still got to tighten all these screws up and everything that we just installed. We're gonna go ahead and step back, take a look to see where we want this mud flap position to be, but more than likely I'm pretty sure we're gonna go ahead and pull it all the way out like I have it here as it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look, get this adjusted the way that I want it to be, and we'll snug everything up, get the wheel put back on, and take a look at it. that side is all done, and I'm gonna say I do really like the black mud flaps versus the red. The red was cool for a while. Honestly, those red mud flaps I think was like the first thing that I ever did to the car. So they've been on the car for probably about 3.5 years or so, and they've had a lot of mileage on them. I mean, this car has been cross country, so, and then some. So it was time for some new mud flaps. Next is going to be time for some new wheels. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back to this. We still have one more side to get done, so let's go ahead and move back over to this side so that way we can see what it looks like when it's all completed. Well, there she is, guys. Red mud flaps are gone. Black mud flaps are on. So it's looking pretty good. There's all the old Rally Armor stuff that's been on for a few years sitting right there. So if you're out in the Pacific Northwest in Washington, around the Yakima area, and you want a set of Rally Armor mud flaps that are red for free for a 15 plus WRX, hit me up. They're sitting here before they go into that trash can over there. So yeah, if you want them for free, pick them up, let me know. So yeah, the black ones are on. Man, I really need to get some wheel spacers, like seriously, like ugh. But coilovers eventually I'll get one day. I ain't so much on the whole low thing, to be honest with you, so not trying to go low on this. In all reality, have actually been thinking about lifting it, so that might happen, but we'll see. I'm not about that low life by any means, but she sits pretty nice right now. These are the wheels that were on the car when I bought it. After this winter, they are going to hopefully become my full-on winter wheels because they're just gross and they just bleh. The only gripe that I have about these mud flaps is I do wish that they would send black hardware instead, to be honest, with you know, black mud flaps or dark colored mud flaps, but they don't. It is what it is. I mean, I guess you could always paint it if you wanted to, or I could paint it if I wanted to, or go buy new hardware. But those black mud flaps are on and it looks good. I'm very happy with how it came out. So I know some people hate mud flaps. I'm not one of those people. It's not that I love them either, but I just think they make the car look good, to be honest, especially like the way that I personally have my car set up. So if you want mud flaps in your car, there's some mud flaps on your car. So I ended up not going through with the rest of, or with any of the installation of the overlays on the headlights. I put it on and it looked okay, but I was not a huge fan of it whatsoever. So at that point I was like, yeah, there's no point in continuing. So from there, I mean, it's gotten pretty dark and pretty freaking cold out here now, unfortunately, but there's still a few more things I want to do to wrap up today and wrap up this video. I went ahead and I actually cleaned my wheels and tires just with some simple green, and then just tire shined them as well because they were really dirty, and I also vacuumed out the interior of the car because it was filthy. And really the last things that I want to do today are replace the Cobb air filter, which I've got a clean one right here ready to go, and clean the mass airflow sensor and the MAP sensor, secondary MAP sensor. I always forget what it's called, but the sensor on the intake manifold. So I want to get that filter changed, get those two sensors cleaned, and then I need to reflash my tune on the car because it's been, every once in a while I'll get a check engine light and it'll pop up running kind of lean. So we will go ahead and jump down into this intake and get this filter changed, and once we get the old filter off, we can clean the MAF sensor, and that's what this stuff is for here, the CRC MAF cleaner, and we'll get the car reflashed and hopefully it'll run a little bit better. Yeah, I'd say that air filter is pretty dirty, so maybe a clean one will help. So basically inside the MAF, you got like all those little sensors right in there. So you want to use that CRC MAF cleaner and just get those sensors nicely and all around it, and hopefully that'll help. Keep two of these, that way I can, like I said, clean one and basically have one cleaned while in between oil changes, and then I can have one in the car. So get two or three. Did that really just fucking happen right now? Wow. Okay, so that's done. So now we need to go grab a socket. Cannot remember what size this is. It's a 10. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that screw out, and we can go ahead and pop this sensor out and unplug it. And there's this sensor, and we're just gonna go ahead and spray this guy down with some MAF cleaner. So there we go. We got that sensor all cleaned up. So hopefully that'll help too a little bit there. You can see that it's a little bit cleaner. Let's go ahead and pop this back in. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it for the night. It is getting really cold out here, so I'm about to go inside and start making some dinner here pretty soon. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I know it wasn't anything crazy, but we did go ahead and get those rock box mud flaps on, which I'm really happy. We attempted to do the overlays, and I did not like how that turned out, so scratch that one. It is what it is, but we'll have to do some custom headlights here pretty soon. We got that Cobb air filter replaced, or put a new one on there, and the MAF sensor cleaned and the MAP sensor cleaned. So that's all good to go. All I gotta do is just go ahead and reflash the car before I start driving it again. That way it can all relearn and everything after cleaning the sensors and putting that new filter on it, or the clean filter on it. So anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks guys, have a good one.